Now I have a new mentee. So the father is an old man now. So I hope in doing that, I am suggesting something to you. That you need as headmasters to mentor. There's a difference between being a headmaster and being a mentor. The key word, and that's not my topic today, the difference between coaching and mentoring is coaching, it can be required, and coaching is official, and coaching is from a person with more experience to one with less experience. Mentoring is friendship. You cannot mentor somebody unless you are friends. And that is the beginning of my discussion. We are talking about integrity in leadership, and it's something that will be important for us to emphasize, because we are not talking about integrity generally. We are talking about integrity in leadership. So the first thing, in a few, and I will not cover the whole speech, the first thing I want to emphasize to you is a principal is a leader. A principal is a leader. But some principals are not leaders, they are actually managers. A CSO, what's it called CSO? Am I pronouncing it correctly? You know, I left university more than 40 years ago. You can imagine, I left Alliance certainly more than 45 years ago is when I left from 6. Now, so I don't remember CSO in our time. But a CSO can be a manager or a leader. The choice is yours. And my suggestion to you is that it's important to change yourself from a manager to a leader. Let me tell you something. When you are a manager, you are like a shepherd behind the sheep, picking them out of the location they are in to take them to the grazing place. That's normally an African shepherd boy does like that. If you came to my place in the 60s, that's what I did. I was a shepherd boy. I would go to my grandfather's sheep, get inside, pick them out, and go with them to the grazing place. When they arrive, by the time they arrive where we are going, I'll be tired of eating them, and they'll be in pain, but they'll start grazing. So I'll still have achieved my purpose. But a Jewish shepherd, according to John chapter 10, is different. A Jewish shepherd opens the sheepfold and then walks out, and the sheep follow. Have you read John chapter 10? Yeah. He walks ahead, and the sheep follow. And they follow him to the grazing place, and they start grazing. When they start grazing, the shepherd is enjoying himself. He's not tired. And the sheep are not in pain. Similarly, a leader headmaster will achieve the mini grade. And now we know there are two of them. The director told us there are 2 of them. One I think she called home mini grade, and the other one school home grade. Now, you'll be able to achieve both, but you can achieve them with the pain. There are people who actually finally end up with a mid score. Is there such a thing as a mid score of 10?
Yes.
Even 12 is only the examples that were being given were lower. So you end up with your mid score of 12. The children will go to university, but they will never want to meet you. Am I communicating?
Yes.
They see you there. And if the boy, one of your students, becomes a doctor, he will never look forward to you appearing in the hospital, because he will make you feel the pain he felt. And at that time, you have no alternative. He is a doctor, specialist. Sees you, doesn't even remind you, because at that time, Catherine is the same boy that used to preach in Boy 2. Now, and all of it, you will have helped him to pass, but you are enemies. And as I talk like that, I am sure there are principals seated here who know people who taught them, but they are not friends. And yet they help you. You are who you are because of them, but you'll never meet them. If you see them somewhere, you feel no obligation to help them, because you are a manager, not a leader. The choice is yours. And you need to ask yourself, who are you? It's a full subject. I cannot discuss it today, the difference between a manager and a leader. But I can just give you a few differences. A leader is a person who goes ahead and people follow. In other words, a leader has followers, a manager has subordinates. A leader has followers, a manager has subordinates. If you have subordinates, you're a powerful guy, you are a boss, and they understand they have to do what you tell them, because if they don't, there will be consequences. If you are a leader, you are in a totally different area. Why? A leader, the power is not in him, the power is in the followers. I cannot become your follower if I have to follow you. If I'm following and I'm not talented and follow you, I'm a subordinate. But then I have a choice whether to follow you or not, and I still follow you, I'm not a subordinate. What am I? A follower. So you need to understand, for you to achieve the mini grid without the pain, it will require that the people coming with you in the project improve the mini grid. The people coming with you will not come because they feel obligated. They will come because they want to come. They will not be subordinate, they will be followers. And it's much easier in the short term to become a manager than to become a leader. Last week we were celebrating what was called the International Day of the Family. And I was one of the speakers in the conference in Kenyatta International Conference Center, which was opened by the wife of the president, Margaret Kenyatta. And I was talking to them about the leadership in the family. And I was telling them many fathers are managers, but a few fathers are leaders. You can always tell, and I'm over 65, so I don't have young people. Our last one finished university 10 years ago, over 07, so it's more than 10 years ago. So I can tell you that for us in our 60s, it's when we are discovering whether you are fathers, managers, or fathers, leaders. If you are a father manager, your children will still become big people in Kenya. But in old age, you will keep living with them. Unakuja kunitembelea lini? And what is the standard reply? I'm too busy. When you are a leader, you are the main friends. Every so often they call you, Papa, how are you doing? Do you understand that's part of the problem our age are going through? Where fathers, you are son went to Australia, keep sending money to the mother, nothing to you. He rings and he says, Papa, you are there, yes, how are you doing? Okay, give me my mother. Now you need to understand. You need to understand that your mother, the mother you talk to in 40 minutes, you only talk for 5, and by 5 minutes you ran out of anything to talk about. All because, and you know the sacrifices you made for this boy to go to Australia. You are the one who did everything. But now the mother, the mother was our leader, not a manager. Am I communicating? In the same way, a headmaster, I wanted to emphasize to you that if you truly want to make an impact that lasts, it will be important for you to become. Now let's suggest a few things that can help you to become the leader rather than the manager. Number one, friendship. It's important to understand, and I don't have time to deal with it. I've actually written a book on friendship. It's important to understand a friend is by choice. Your wife is not your friend, she's your wife. You can prove it with a marriage certificate. I'm not communicating. Your son is your son. If you doubt, you can produce from Cambridge DNA. But friendship, the power in friendship is with the other person. You cannot force me to be your friend. I have made a choice whether to be friends or not. And it requires a lot of effort on your side to come to where I am your friend. For you to be a leader, your team are friends. You can never follow an enemy willingly. No. So for you to become the kind of principal where people are following you, They must see you as their friend. And you say, how do you make them friends? The same way you are able to win that girl. Do you remember the girl you married? And there are so many men, some better than you, some straight, some... but she came to you. Why? There was friendship that caused her to come your way. That's the same way to win your students. The same way to win your teachers. You need to woo them into friendship. Am I communicating? And you need to give them a currency called time. If you're the type of a person where a teacher comes and you want to talk to you and you keep writing, and hey, keep on, I'm listening, and you're writing, don't lie. The brain was never made to multitask. The other day I studied, because we have already been told men do not know how to multitask, women can. Then the other day I read a research that shows multi-skilling is not difficult, it is impossible. Every time you do multi-skilling, it means your brain is moving between exercises. And that means none of the exercise is getting your full attention. So people get the message. Whenever they go to the principal's office, they realize in the principal's office, he is too busy to give them time. Friendship is time. In my book on friendship, I quote a Kikuyu saying that says, the proof of friendship is ability to visit one another. And you need to understand, if you are going to be friends with your teachers, so that they can go to they can take this project, improve their mini scope. They come with you. It will be because they feel valued. And the currency of being valued is time. Am I communicating? And you need to ask yourself, are you able to do that? Are you too busy to give them the time? In other words, you say, I'm busy, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Within those 5 minutes, there's nothing else you are doing. If he runs out of the 5 minutes, you tell him, is it possible we reschedule this thing to tomorrow? Because there's a parent just about to enter. But what you are saying is so important. I didn't want to hear about it more. He will still go in 5 minutes, but he feels valued, isn't it? Yes. He has been given a new appointment. But when you make him look like a parasite, disturbing an important person, it's really important. But the manager, am I complicated? It's important to understand. So we are saying, if you are going to be the leader, where people willingly follow, it will be important that you ask yourself, am I really a friend or not? Number 2, you need to be exemplary. In other words, managers say, do this. Why? I said so. Now, if you are that kind of headmaster, whose instructions cannot be questioned, whose instructions do not need to be explained, my friend, you're not a leader. You are a manager. So you need to understand that the way to get people to be friends is that what you're asking them to do is what you are also doing. If you tell them come on time to the meeting, you must come before time. Why? You know that last week in the family conference, I was telling them one of the things that I did when my children were young in the 80s. And the 844 had just come, and parents were getting a very hard time how to cope with the amount of work our children were going through. And it was a very difficult time. You know, so one time I called a family conference. So I was in primary school, and my wife, we met a family conference, and we agreed. Maybe what you should do is stop watching the TV, except the weekend, so that we can concentrate on this homework. We discussed it, everybody finally agreed. We will only watch TV in our house, only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. After the decision was made, and we are now agreed, I look at here like, I like watching news. Now you realize, if you make a principle, it applies even to the leader. Am I communicating? Yes. The difficulty was how to do without news. Am I communicating? But I realized I had no alternative. To be a leader means the rules you make, you are the first to obey. If you don't, they will still obey, but you're a manager, not a leader. And remember, in management, subordinates do only what they must do. In leadership, when they ask by the leader to jump, they ask, how high? Because they are so sure that the leader is a good guy. He cannot get up to jump for nothing. So instead of asking many things, jump. They ask. Because they are with you. They want to go with you where you are going. They are totally. I'm taking my point. Because you are exemplary. You not ask them. By the time you are telling them to jump, you are supposed to start there jumping. So you need to understand that if you want it to become a leader, it will be important that you are exemplary. To be exemplary will require that you are disciplined. What is to be disciplined? To be disciplined means you don't do what you feel like doing. You do what needs to be done. Okay, see the difference? Disciplined people do not just do what they feel like doing. They do what must be done. It's 5 o'clock. Your clock has said you must wake up. But the sleep is so sweet. Disciplined people don't just try to come out of bed. They keep the blankets away and move out. And they don't enjoy it. They are disciplined. If you are not disciplined, the teachers will see it, the students will see it, but there will be a big sacrifice on your part. Discipline is not easy. That's how to be exemplary. Are you after people following you? It will only be possible. Because you see, once I agree we turn off the TV, no child will ever try to turn it off. And it stayed like that until all my children went to boarding high school. Until the last one finally left and I could watch the TV when I want. Now, you need to understand, it is important to understand once you set it, the sacrifice is high. But then what happens is, they start thinking that if Papa says something, he means it. And Papa does it only for a good reason. Am I communicating? So it's important to understand. So the second thing is, the first thing is, are you friends with your team? Number 2, are you setting a good example? Are you disciplined? Thirdly, do you love them? Nobody will follow you if they don't feel loved. You know, there are people in your team and you wonder, sure, I think this one will drop off. Now, he will soon get the message and actually drop off. And unfortunately for you, you do not determine which teachers come to your school. Am I right? They come, dependent. My suggestion to you, if you want people who follow you willingly, you must love them unconditionally. If you want people to follow you willingly, you must love them unconditionally. That means, even the ugliest of the teachers, you must learn how to accept that they did not create themselves. And you have a quarrel, you do not quarrel with them. You have a quarrel with the Creator. And since you are not about to treat as a Creator, accept them the way they are. That's stammerer. You want to show a PSC. Of all people you meet, how can a stammerer be a teacher? What's wrong with PSC? Now, but you are not, that's not part of you are not the interview. Are you in the interview? No, they are already there. Accept them the way they are. The moment, because they have been rejected everywhere, then even the teachers are giving them a hard time. When they realize the principal accept them the way they are, they will stammer into great grades. Am I communicating? Yeah. When they feel accepted, they expected to be rejected, but they realize when they enter the principal's office, he is with them. The principal keeps finding out how they are doing. The principal keeps encouraging them. That is love. Again, I don't have enough time to deal with this subject, but please understand that love is not a feeling. Love is a decision. In other words, you don't need to feel you love me. You don't need to decide to love me. Once you decide to love me, the feelings follow. Am I communicating? That's why I keep telling young people, it's a dangerous thing to fall in love. Because you fall in the wrong hole. It's always important to stand in love. Don't fall in love. Because you will fall in the wrong girl. So when people who know how to stand in love, make a decision first. Whether to love or not. So as a leader, you can determine to love people, even they are lovable. That difficult teacher who is already having this problem, you decide to love them. And even when you are punishing, because love does not mean you don't punish. It means you punish in love. So they get the message. And that guy loves me so much, he must be paid to punish him. In other words, when I cry out of the pain, he's also crying. And yet he's punishing me. That's what we talk about love. Love does not mean you don't punish somebody. It means in the punishment, he feels loved. Is that possible? So it's important. That's why it's very interesting with children, the younger especially. You can punish a child They cry. You go, when you come back, they jump on you, Papa. Because they forgot the pain. And they understood the pain had a very good reason. Somehow, a leader will be followed despite punishing and disciplining others. Because he himself has set an example, but especially because they feel love. So if you want people to be with you, it will be important. But next, trustworthy. He was going to try to project it, but I think it will be difficult without seated here. Trustworthy. Now, my friend, how can you follow somebody you think intends to kill you in Meru Forest? It's not possible. The moment you suspect, they mean evil. I know, with all due respect to the director, if you think your husband is about to kill you, please don't wait. No, don't wait. Don't sleep with somebody who is likely to kill you. The reason you sleep there is because you know he is traveling to love you, but he is so human that he does not communicate properly. Now, it's important to understand trust is the big thing. Can you be trusted? And I'll be saying a little more about that one. And finally, team player. Are you a team player? A team player can be seen in three ways. Number one, he does not allocate duties without allocating himself. He is a team player. There are principals who dish out all the jobs and give themselves none. So next meeting, next staff meeting, matters arising, none of them is arising from you. Have you heard of people like that? Yeah, they dish out to others and they give themselves nothing. Now, you are not a team player. A team player means you play one area, you play another, they are all playing together. Number two, if you're a team player, they do not take all the credit. They are able to say, hey, this is not my project, this is our project. And they really like mentioning. Even when they want to criticize a team member, they start by earning the right to criticize. How do you earn the right to criticize? For example, do you want the right to criticize your spouse? Just look for three things they have done well. Say, darling, surely, you did this. I was so happy. Yeah. And that's not the only one. Do you remember the other day? I was so happy. And then this morning, you remember what you did. By that time, they are flying. And by the way, the breakfast this morning was banned. Now, you'll be reading, darling, tomorrow it will not be banned. I think you just wake up and say, useless. All your breakfasts are banned. Three problems. Number one is not true. Because even if you have banned every day except one day, it's not true. Because you said all breakfasts are banned. Number two is that now, by putting her there, it will be banned every day in the future. So we are saying, if you're a team player, you recognize people. Please work hard to catch people doing something good. I am not suggesting you flatter. Any fool can tell you about flattery. Any commendation must be genuine. There must be something they have done. Don't tell somebody they have done something they have actually not done. But do you know everybody something good? Like that gift that lives at your house and stole. I know you think of all bad things, but if you met him, you can find something good he did. For example, he never killed you. Say, you took my car, but thank you for not killing me. There's something, even a thief, there's something good he did. So it's important to find out of the team members, instead of just criticizing them. Since you're in a team, you not only see the wrong things they are doing, you also see good things that they are doing. And it will be important to mention it. I want you to, on your own in the evening, to read Psalm 15, which I don't have the time to read. And I wanted to give an example of integrity. But let me just mention a few things about integrity. Remember, I'm finishing with the word trust. For people to trust you, you must be a man of integrity. I mean, ethics is much wider than integrity, but I just want to concentrate on integrity. What is integrity? The word integrity comes from the root word of integer. And since we have been talking about mathematics here, an integer, we all did the integers in mathematics. Am I right? 1.5, is that an integer? 3 and a half, is that an integer? 7, is that an integer? Yes. Now you need to understand, when you talk about integrity, it means you are a whole. You are a whole number. People of integrity have boldness. When you say that guy has no integrity, it means the guy you see in school is not the guy at home. That means they have no integrity. So you find somebody in church, he's a pastor. Fantastic. But at work, he's a terrorist. Now, when you see somebody like that, they have no integrity. They are not one person at the same time. I'm not communicating. So to be a person with integrity means, and I've written a full book on it. I'll leave Modia with a few copies, and I've been asking my distributor which bookshop in Meru has them. I hope he'll SMS me. But I've written a book on integrity, a whole book on integrity after I retired. And recently I was asked by the SCAC. SCAC is State Parastatal Advisory Board. And they're asking me to train directors. So these same things I'm discussing with you, I shared with directors from various parastatals. Last year, but one, the president ordered that all directors of all universities, all parastatals will go through training on ethics. And I was asked by SCAC to try to train them on ethics. And I was telling them exactly the same. As a director or a council member, you have been sent there by the government. To be a person with integrity means the way you look after public money is the way you look after your own money. Am I communicating? Yeah. You know, you go to a school where the headmistress buys bananas on the street for 4 shillings per banana. But in the school, bananas are being bought at 10 shillings per banana. If in her own house, if you sought to have bananas even at 6 shillings, she will not buy from you. But for the school, Sinimaria woman. That woman has no, because you cannot buy for as a, first of all, I'm a business director. I worked for Shell for 30 years because they call me an old man. But one of the things you do when you are working, I work for Shell. Shell, of course, we were working with the billion. And you need to understand that sometimes you start thinking this is public money. I can decide different. But once you are careless with public money, you will soon be careless with them, because we have a lot of difficulty being different. I'll get my point. We have a lot of difficulty. So a man of integrity, he will be exactly the same there. Now let me tell you something. If you are the kind of a man who has a dogo somewhere, you cannot be a man of integrity. Because the truth is, you have cheated your wife that she is the only one. And yet you're having a small girl the age of your daughter somewhere. Basically, you think you'll never discover. But that's not the issue. The problem is not your wife. You are living a lie. You have no integrity. And my friend, even if in school you regard yourself as a man of integrity, soon enough there will be a temptation with one of the staff members. I'm not communicating. Because you have no integrity. Integrity means you are who you are. And a man of integrity is who he is in the dark. Am I communicating? That when nobody is looking, who are you? That's what integrity is all about. And you need to ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? If you can say who you are in the dark, then you need to understand that's who you really are. You know, once you're in public, we have something called PR, public relations. We have been taught and practiced until there is a way of acting when there is a boss. Most principals think the teachers are fantastic. Now, because they don't know them, there's a way of behaving when you're in the principal's office. But if a teacher has no integrity, they will sell themselves to you until every time you hear of a promotion, that's a guy you are promoting. The other teachers laugh. Oh, that person must be nuts. You ever comment something like that? Because every teacher knows the truth. But you yourself don't know the truth. Because that teacher has no integrity. And I thought, if you really want to become a leader, it is impossible to be a leader without integrity. Because when people finally discover who you are, they will have a problem following you. So when you're talking about integrity and talking about the things that we need to do, it is important to understand integrity, or whatever you want to call it, is adherence to moral and ethical principles. You have some ethics in you, some moral principles, and your integrity is seen in what you do when you know no one will find out. Integrity is determined by what you do in secret. Ask, would I mind what I'm doing appearing as headline of the biggest newspaper tomorrow? Every time you feel, I'll not do it. It tells you, I'm a man without integrity. You need to work, and you know that's what is embarrassing these days. You are in your place, somebody is talking to you, and you feel like saying, speaking your mind. What you don't know is that they have gadgets on their body that are taping the message. Have you heard of those things? When they appear, you say, hiya. And of course, it's too late to argue. My friend, you don't have to be afraid of people taping you. If what you say in the dark is what you'll be willing to say in, people of integrity have no difficulty. Let me tell you one more thing. People of integrity don't go a good memory. Because what they tell you in Mombasa is what they tell you in Kisumu. It's what they tell you in Tigani. You know, like you ask somebody, how old are you? And they look at you and they tell you, I'm 30. The next time they meet you and say, how old are you? You have to remember, what did I actually? People in the integrity require very good memory. And their life is very complicated. Because each time you ask them a very simple question, and they look at you and for 3 minutes they are not answering. Because they are trying to imagine, have I ever talked to him on that subject? They are trying to decide what to tell him. Am I communicating? So I'm telling you the dangers of lacking integrity. You require very good memory. You know, your wife asks you a simple question, where were you yesterday? You say, why are you asking? What's the problem? Because where you are, you hope your wife cannot tell. So a simple question of where are you? And she meant exactly where are you? You think she's asking, what were you doing now? People without integrity suffer a lot. They suffer a lot. My friend, when auditors are coming and the principal is on holiday, he will pay fare from you just to come to be in because of the auditors. Why? He knows he's the only one who can cover up properly. When you are running your school properly, with all due respect, my friend, auditors are not frightening. There is nothing they can find out that has related with you. Am I communicating? Yes. So when you see yourself, you're meeting a husband, you can't sleep at night because the auditors are coming. There is a suspicion that you yourself are lacking integrity. Am I communicating? And it's important to ask yourself, is that what you are putting yourself through? You will shorten your life if that's what you are doing. It will be something that you need to ask yourself, is that what you want or not? You know, integrity is only possible because you have values. Values are defined as deep-seated beliefs, conceptions of a desirable idea, which influences the selection from variable modes, means and ends of actions. You know, like if you value something, your actions will follow the values. That's why, for example, if you see a student who is not performing well, don't just talk about performance, because performance is a behavior. Find out what is causing the bad performance. And the bad performance is caused by a value. Am I communicating? Yeah. Do you know there are students in school to study for the mother? They study for the mother. So when they do well and the mother doesn't give them a gift, that's the end. Because they want to punish the mother. Do you know there are students who do badly just to punish the mother? So unless you realize, it's not that these students are daft. They have a problem, a belief problem. Because they believe school is a way of rewarding the parents. So when the parents don't act properly, they do badly. The parents act properly, they... Am I communicating? So it's important to understand. So integrity comes from a belief system. The book of James says, faith without work is dead. Let me use different words. We know your faith by your actions. When you claim to have faith, but your actions are contradicting that faith, it means that's not the faith you have. That's what it means by faith without action is dead. My friend, let me tell you. If you believe God is the provider, Philippians 4:19, and my God shall supply all your needs. That's what you believe. My friend, somehow you will never steal. Why? You believe that whatever God brings your way is what He gives you. And you don't want to get anything God never gave you. So if I see you putting your hand in the school money, the truth is, you believe you look after yourself. You don't believe in God's provision. You can talk. What you say is not the reality. You actually tell me what you actually believe. If you believe in the purity of marriage, and you are getting attracted by a small girl somewhere, the truth is, you don't believe in purity of marriage. You believe marriage is a way of satisfying your sexual needs and is available everywhere. Now, once that is your idea, it will be possible. You can't stick with one wife. I'm not communicating. It all has to do with beliefs. So that if you want to help yourself, don't change your behavior. God will know the behavior to why you behave like that. Because your behavior is as a result of your belief system. And your belief system will determine your behavior. So you need to check what are the organizations have what they call core values. A core value is a value that cannot be negotiated. If, for example, TSA says integrity is a core value, it means if you don't keep integrity, we don't discuss you in the boardroom. You are fired. And you don't even need to be fired. You resign. Because you know a core value, you cannot be in a group unless you are part of that core value. So you need to understand the same thing. What are your core values? Because I want to tell you, when you have a core value, anytime you break the core value, you can't sleep at night. You are totally uncomfortable. The fact that you can sleep at night after breaking a value tells you that value is a stated value, not a believed value. Am I communicating? So you need to ask, if I ask you, give me 6. Most consultants who, and I do consultants work after they retire, most consultants recommend you should not have more than 6. Because a core value is a problem. You cannot break your value. So don't have too many. Because if there are too many, most likely you are not living. What defines you? Who are you? I tell people core values are the boundaries within which you walk. And it means they are willing to fail. You would rather not get the mean score if you have to break your value. You are willing to be called the worst teacher if to become a better teacher requires you to break your core value. What are those values? That you are willing to fail rather than break that value. And you need those values. Remember, you're talking about integrity. Your integrity will depend on your values. What are those values? And do you actually live in them? The Boy Scouts, just to give an example, the Boy Scouts of America define values as those things that really matter to each of us. The ideas and beliefs we hold especially. For example, if you care for others, then that's a value. And it means you cannot do something to hurt others. Or freedom of expression. When you hear somebody is being stopped from talking, say, no. Let him talk. Because for you, you are very uncomfortable. You know, the operations of an organization reflect the values of that leadership. I can tell how your values by watching your school. Because you see, there are things, when something is not in your value, a teacher will do something wrong, and you just pat them. Because it's not a serious matter. But there are things which they do, you will call them to the office. Within no time, people knows what people value and what the headmaster values and what he does not value. And it's important to understand you can communicate values by your beliefs, what you state, your comment. That will be very important. You know, the Bible, for those of us who are Christians, is our basis of values. So if you say you have biblical values, I can tell by when you last read the Bible. There are people who only read the Bible on Sunday. They have very clean Bibles. Ever heard the saying, that the Bible, clean heart? That the heart, clean Bible. And you need to understand that if you are taking values from the Bible, you need to read it regularly, isn't it? So your values are clear. There are people who don't go with them, and it's important to understand. You know, just as I'm giving examples about world finishing, some unethical people don't steal money. So they think they are wonderful. I mean, I'm ethical. I've never stolen any money. But they steal other things. For example, they steal time. There's somebody who will leave the deputy headmaster running the school. because he's running another business. If you go to audit his account, he has never stolen any money. But the guy is a thief. You know, when people are in hell, all these will go to hell. Are we together? All these will go to hell. Now, some, when they are in hell, they normally ask each other, why are you here? I've been locked up by the police, so I know. When Mapusus normally ask each other, why are you here? And you are here. Now, so I'm assuming in hell, they also ask each other, why are you here? So one says, oh, me, I stole a lot of money. And you, I stole time. You will be in the same hell, same temperature. It will not matter. It will not matter that one stole money and one stole time. The employer has agreed with you the minimum number of hours. If you give less, please go to HR. Say, this month, I want to go to heaven myself. Don't give me 100% of my salary. Give me only 80. Why? 20% I spend on my farm. That's what it means to be a man of integrity. Remember, our topic is integrity. And it's an integrity of a leader. You want to set an example, isn't it? So that others can follow you. It will be important you write and make it clear. I know teachers, last month, I really did not lose the temper. I've actually told HR to reduce the salary. They say, what? You give away money? Yes, that's what it means to have integrity, very expensive. Every teacher there will know. The headmaster values integrity. Am I communicating? So you need to understand. You know, another one is value. Some people steal value. You find somebody is selling something worth, for example, you are selling your car, and you know the car has many problems, but the buyer doesn't know. So you tell him the car is fantastic, have $1 million, but you know the car will collapse. But you have actually organized how the car will look nicely. Then you tell him I have $1 million, he goes to sell another $500,000. What will be the saying of the seller? He has no integrity. Because you never stole time, you never stole money, you stole value. You need to understand that a man of integrity always prices his beings for the price. And that's why when I was working for Shell, every 4 years I changed cars because Shell was buying them for me. And so I sold many cars. But I never sold a car without going to AA for valuation. Because I feared selling to someone and then later he says I have no integrity. So you go together. It's not me saying the price. That's what AA has valued it. I can give you a discount, but please understand, an independent party has said this is a value. You need to understand it clearly. People are stealing values. The same thing with your school. When you buy using school money, you build a classroom that could, if it was your house, you know, classroom is like some of the big houses, am I right? You build your house for 100,000. Then you build a classroom for 200,000. It means you are not getting value for money. Am I communicating? Nobody, no auditor will ever discover you. But when you are in hell, you will be eliminated. Am I communicating? We are talking about integrity. You need to start understanding what we are talking about is that. So when you overstate the price or understate the quality, both of them is a way of losing value. Let me finish with a few things that I want to say. What are the benefits of being an ethical leader? Number one, it gives you a competitive advantage. I can tell you, the moment the teachers start talking about the headmaster who loves them, the headmaster that can be trusted, every teacher will be asking the TSC, can you transfer me to that school? Number two, every teacher that does not want to comply realizes you can't compromise, will be asking for a transfer out of your school. And you're not the one chasing them. You love them, but they know this climate is not what I wanted to work. I want a place where I can take a little, but this guy cannot allow me. So let me get a transfer. So you need to understand, by having a certain style, it starts determining who is in your batch. Because a lot of people just drop off because they don't want to be with the headmaster like that. That headmaster, don't go there. He can never take even a little. You go for a trip, he wants you to account every shilling. And when you don't, he doesn't trust the person. He comes to ask you himself. Hey, don't go there. You never get them beyond your salary. Leave that school. So you'll be left with only people who are satisfied with their salary. Am I communicating? So you need to understand one of the selling points is a competitive advantage. Because of that competitive advantage, you end up with a team of people who are productive. Because, you know, I'm talking about the benefits. You end up with people who are productive. They are there to work. They are there to support the project. So you end up having a team that are committed. When people understand, I know I used to say at Alliance, I was in Alliance right up to the last Mzungu headmaster after me, Africans started coming in. But the interesting thing is, our headmaster always taught a class. But you hear our principals, there are two principals to ever end up in a class. Now, my friend, how do you get to know the students if you don't teach anything? How do you get to know the teachers if you are never in the staff room? Do you know there are principals who never go, they cannot take their, you know their dignity to take tea with the teachers. The team must be sent aside. If you behave like somebody in a different world, they also treat you like somebody in a different world. And that's what the director was saying. How do you get to know what's happening in your school when you don't behave like part of the team? So it's important to understand, we are saying when you are ethical, somebody trusted, the things I listed, people will be a team that is very productive. Thirdly, people would like to support you. The director will find a teacher to support you because whenever you ask for something, they know you are not lying. But if you are the type of a person who cries, move. Oh, I have no teachers, they are all gone. And yet, there's only one that left. The day the director discovers how you talk, the next time you ask, they know you are not serious. They will have to send somebody to find out. In the meanwhile, no teacher is being sent as they are investigating you. Now, you need to understand that when you are the kind of a person who cannot be trusted, it will be very difficult for you to get collaboration and support from outside. And you can also attract investors. If you hear, if the CDF that they send to your school builds 2 classrooms, and the other places they are building only 1 classroom, guess where CDF will come next year? It will be in a school, am I right? Because people start saying, you know, that one really knows how to use money well. Look, we get the same money, look at what he did. So your school will get bigger support. And I could go on, but my time is just gone. So, what's my suggestion? Number 1, do not believe the story that everybody is doing it. One of the reasons why there is a lot of lack of integrity in schools is because everybody believes headmasters must eat. You eat where you are, you are. My friend, don't believe it. There is always headmaster who's not doing it. So when you do it, please go to hell alone. Do not assume all headmasters are going. It's important to get yourself to believe. You are not Mr. Everybody. God created you special. Don't buy a copycat. So it's important because part of the big problem in Kenya is the strong belief, and you read it in my book, it's a strong belief that Kenya is so corrupt. Nobody is not corrupt. No. I've worked for many years. You know, the other day I do training, I told you I'm a consultant. The other day I was training some managers, petroleum managers, industry managers. And they told me, you know, Mr. Nana, all industry, and I was, like I told you, I worked for a long company for 30 years. All industry is so corrupt. In fact, the manager said, you know, you are older than us. You must have had to bribe or receive money for many, many times, now that you are older. He's not asking me, he is telling me, I cannot have risen in Shell right to top management without money changing hands. And I realized, and nobody was defending me. All the managers believe this old man must have been. There is a strong belief that you cannot survive on your salary. So I told the young man, I can see you are making an assumption. I don't know exactly what to do. Maybe I should tell you the example of driving. Because I've driven for longer than your life. So, everybody believes on Kenyan roads, you cannot drive without bribing the police. Have you heard of that? I told them, I have driven for more than 5 years, going towards 40 years, and have never bribed a policeman once. I'm not talking about twice, even once. Of course, I also admit that I've been locked up. But the point is, it is possible to drive in Kenya without ever. Am I communicating? And you know, they say, is it? I said, yes. I meet the police. Sometimes I'm guilty. And I just tell them, I'm guilty as charged. Chora. But the other day, somebody caught me. I didn't know a police was turning. I could not turn. And he said, hey, he stopped me. I said, what have I done wrong? Because I did not know anything wrong. He said, look at that. A new signboard had been put in Nairobi to prevent me entering there. But I was already there. I told him, now, in fact, they had to go and sit around me. I said, I'm guilty as charged. Where Chora? But you know, they don't Chora. They want money, isn't it? I encouraged him to Chora. He said, no, let's talk. I said, there's nothing to talk. I'm a Christian. We don't talk, we Chora. Now the guy said, old man, run away. You need to understand clearly. Once you are peaceful, once the policeman knows he will not get the money from you, he doesn't keep you. Because he's wasting time. By now you have collected more money. You are wasting his time. Now you need to understand, when you have integrity, it is possible to enjoy life. Because you sleep every night, including in the cell, happily. Am I communicating? When you prevent yourself from going to the cell, you will be on your good bed, turning left, right, south, north, without sleep. Thank you very much. God bless you.